So, this is the next day after I did the flush and put the dye in and filled it up with antifreeze to find my leak. And noticed when I went out earlier today, I parked at concrete and I looked down and saw a puddle. And at the house, you know, I don't park on concrete, and even if I parked on gravel, you wouldn't be able to tell the leak like that. So I was like, well, got up under here, go from the top. You can't, I mean, you can kind of see something down there on my, don't know if it's going to focus, but I can see some stuff on my cross brace. But I was like, okay. And I was like, well, dang, that's a lot of fluid. I don't know if it was always leaking this bad, or if, you know, doing the flush and using, you know, the water hose and going a little bit over pressure made the leak worse. But it's all wet, it's all wet, it's all wet. I don't know if I'm going to do this right. It's all wet. It's all wet. Let's see if I can go over here. Trying to get it where you can see what I'm seeing. It's wet right there below it, right there, and that's the water pump right where that hose is going into. So it looks like it's leaking out of the water pump. Don't know 100% sure, but from following the line, it's leaking from somewhere around the water pump. Or just that hose, but I already have a water pump. I've had a water pump for at least 3 years now. I've had a water pump. And I never replaced it. I bought it because I thought the pulley was warped. Well, yeah, I thought the pulley was warped, which means I thought the bearing was bad. But I never, replaced it because a water pump doesn't come with a pulley, and I was going to buy a pulley. Well, that can't get that pulley. At least from what I've looked, that pulley's, you know, discontinued. You can't just buy the pulley for the water pump. So, so I just never replaced it because I never saw a huge leak, and I wasn't, you know, at that time I wasn't, I didn't have any problems with antifreeze or coolant leak. So, but I definitely have a leak now. Like I said, I don't remember it being near this bad. I'm guessing after flushing it and getting a whole bunch of gunk out, it decided to open up and start pouring out. I don't know how much I've lost, but that dye, you don't even need the dang black light, because that dye, it looks brown, but when it hits water or antifreeze, it turns bright green, like bright green like that. I bet the ultraviolet light will, you'd be able to see almost anything. But yeah, it looks like I got a water pump leak. So I just filled this thing up I just filled this thing up on the way home Friday. Yeah, so on the way home yesterday, I filled it up. So it's got a full tank of gas, and my Yukon is on empty. So looks like I'll be filling up 3 times this week. But it's because I have to fill up the Yukon tomorrow morning. I don't think I'll be able to make it all the way to work. I might be able to make it all the way to work. And I've done it before, but that's pushing it. I'd rather wake up earlier and fill it up in town and then head on to work. So, anyway, yeah, looks like a water pump. I can almost from where it's looking, from where the water is coming from, I can almost guarantee it's a water pump. But, let's see how much has come out of the reservoir. The reservoir is almost empty. The reservoir is at the minimum spot as far as filling up. And I had it filled up almost all the way to the top. So, because in case there was any more air in it, it would bleed through. But pretty much all of the air was out. So, looks like I've lost, not even half a gallon, but I've lost, you know, quite a bit. So, yeah. Looks like a water pump. I gotta find my water pump. It's been moved a couple places. I think I know where it is. But it looks like I'll be doing that next weekend. I don't really feel like doing it today. Plus, it looks like rain might be moving in. And I don't think... Well, I think my Jeep can still fit in the garage. In fact, I'm almost positive it will still fit in the... Actually, I know it will fit in the garage. My Yukon won't fit in the garage anymore without taking the light bar off, though. But, yeah. Plus, it's really hot right now. I don't really feel like getting in here and sweating my butt off replacing a water pump. So, that'll be probably a video next week replacing the water pump, which, hopefully, that's my only leak. I think it's my only leak, because I have kind of heard a little grinding noise in the front accessory. So, but replacing the water pump on this isn't, I mean, it's a water pump, so it's easy, but on these motors, it's not as easy as a 350, a small block Chevy. Small block Chevy, you just take some of the front off, remove 4 bolts, and you can pull it right off. On this one, you pretty much take everything off the front end by the radiator. Then you have to take the whole water pump accessory, the water pump and the water pump accessory bracket. You have to completely take that off, because if you look right there, I don't know what you're seeing in the screen because it's really bright. That's the water pump right there. And see that bracket right there that goes over here? Yeah, the water pump sticks out, and the accessory bracket and power steering pump bolt to it. So the water pump is being used as a support for the power steering accessory bracket. So yeah, you can't just remove all this stuff, remove the front, and then remove the fan, and then remove the thermostat housing and the water pump. Some people have been able to sneak it by loosening this stuff up and kind of moving it. I'm probably gonna, just gonna remove the bracket. Hopefully this is maybe a little, I think this might actually, this one might be a little bit easier. The older ones, the bracket is slightly different. I think this one might not be as hard. I won't know until I get in there. The older ones, there's actually bolts you have to come up through the bottom and kind of hidden behind stuff, and man, it's almost impossible to get to them. This one doesn't look as bad. Actually, this one doesn't look as bad at all. This one might be easier, but I still have to remove a couple of these bolts. So I still might have to either completely remove the bracket or move it out of the way. But I just thought I'd do an update. So it's definitely leaking. It's definitely a water pump. And my passenger side floorboard, I've been checking it, and it's not wet. There's nothing down here. So it looks like it was possibly a water pump the whole time, just not maybe leaking a lot. Or maybe because it was mostly water. A lot of the antifreeze had come out because I've been filling it up with 50/50 and water. I haven't put any full strength antifreeze in it in a while. So since winter, I put a lot of antifreeze in it in winter so it wouldn't freeze. But since then, I've been just putting, when I got stuck on the side of the road, I just filled it up with 50/50. And then been adding water since then. So anyway, that's it. Water pump leak. Pretty much 100% sure it's a water pump leak. It's from where it's coming from. That's what it looks like. It looks like it's possibly coming out of the weep hole. So yeah, just thought I'd get that out there. Do an update that I found my leak. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.